Hey everybody, it is Kevin here, Marketing Director for Stamp Anniething, and I'm going to be coloring up one of the images from our brand new Friendship is Magic set, the October 2025 stamp set. This here is Pinkie Pie. She is one of the My Little Ponies, and she's absolutely adorable. So I've gone ahead and I've stamped her out. I actually stamped her out in pink. And then all I did was I used a stamping platform. I used the Misty. And then for her eyes and her cutie mark, I just went ahead and used my dual marker. This is by Memento and it's in Tuxedo Black. So it's the exact same ink as you would find in this pad. And I applied it just to the eyebrow and the cutie mark just to make that darker. So it's not necessarily a no line coloring, but I decided I didn't want that black edge, similar to what we did or what I did when I colored the rainbow dash image that I did in the other video here. So that is what we're going for today, but we're going to be using Pinkie Pie. So our first colors up for her body, which we're going to start first, are going to be, I had it all written down. There we go. So we're going to be using R85, R83, R81, and RV10. So those are those colors right here. So I'm going to start with my R85. So this is my rose red. This is rose red. So this is our darkest color. And this is where I'm going to put in everywhere where I want her shadows to be. And this is for her body. So I'm going to start in at the back of her ear a bit. And I'm going to sweep it up here. And if you can see here, there's a tiny bit of white space in there. I'm going to leave that. That's okay. I didn't get it completely away from, but I wanted it a little bit away from there. So right now I'm just thinking about shadowed areas. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to try and use just the very tip of my marker. And again, I'm just leaving a tiny little bit of space there. So just right in there, a little bit in the ear. And now I'm going to give her a little bit of shadow here. And a little bit down by her cheek a bit. And right up here on this side of her body. A little bit under her neck. And then down into her legs. And I'm also going to put that color into her little hooves a bit as well. So that was our R85, our rose red. So next we're going to move on to our R83. So this is our rose mist. So our rose mist here is our R83. And I'm hoping to stay right in the center of your screen today. Made sure everything was taped down, that my mat was good, that there's no glare. I've got this in the right spot, so I know I've got to stay kind of like right in this spot here, or that'll fly off the screen, which I didn't want to do for you guys. So here we're going to build on what we did. And I'm going to come up, and then I can go over that white space a little bit now. I'm going to extend from where I came out from. I just don't want to go too heavy with the blending. I'm going to go across your nose a little bit now. and under her eyebrows. And in and around this cheek space, where her mane is. Now coming down her leg a bit. You can see I've gone into her little hoof. Do you ever have that where you you're thinking about when you're saying a word and then you're all of a sudden like, that's a really weird word. Never really thought of it before, but oof. Kind of funny. I don't know why. So here again, just kind of adding it in and slightly extending. We're just kind of working in all that shadow there. And again, I'm going to make sure I am staying away from that line very clearly now. That was my R83 that Rose missed. Next up is our R81, which is our Rose Pink. And as you can see, our last video when I colored Rainbow Dash, I did kind of as a sped up video, and this time you're going to get a full-length tutorial, just because. So I'm going to go ahead and fill in her ear. Well, I guess what I'm doing is because some people prefer something that's a fast watch so they can just do in a short amount of time. And some people prefer to have a video that they can follow along with a little bit more easily. So you can see I'm just kind of bringing that color down. Her forehead a little bit more now. But I'm still leaving white space. Because I do still want to come back in my last color, which is at RB10. And that's going to kind of blend and smooth everything out. There we go. Oh, no, I forgot. Just got some body in here. Go around. Remain a little bit there. So that was the R81. So that was our Rose Pink. And now we're going to go in with the RV10, our Pale Pink. So when I choose my colors, I just go ahead and when I choose my Copics, I go ahead and write down everything that I need. So I write out my body, my mane and tail, my eye color, the cutie mark, any of those extras. And then I use my Copic chart and I go through and I'm like, okay, what colors do I want to use? What matches closely? What do I want to do with the blend? And I kind of go from there. Where I know Steven and Annie are kind of fly by the seat of their pants. I'm just not there with my Copics. I need to have that chart right there with me. Make sure I know what's going to blend with what and what colors I want to use. So you can see here, now I'm kind of blending it in, but you want to make sure that you're getting around her eye here and under her eye in that corner. And here too is where you can take that. You can start to blend your colors out a little bit more if you need to. And I'm just going to spin it around a little bit. just to make sure everything's blended very nicely. Spin that around. And again, move your image to where it is easiest for you to work with. I am totally loving coloring these. They are absolutely redonkulously adorable to color. And I don't know, I kind of find them easier to color maybe. I know. I don't know if you knew this, but like My Little Ponies, they kind of have like very uniform colored bodies, so that's why even their hooves kind of match. So I think that makes things easier as well. And because you're using the same markers in such a large area, it really does make things easier. And because you've got these larger areas, I find that the blending is a lot easier because you've got that space to blend it in. So you can see here, like I really am just kind of covering up that white space now. And then I'm going ahead and I'm just blending over our dark areas. And it really does just smooth everything out. And you get this really amazing look. So it's like, if you've ever thought you've had issues with getting your shadows and stuff in there, this is one way to kind of work on it in these kind of images too, is to not be afraid of putting that dark in like we did with that R85, and then just seeing how you can blend it out and soften everything, but still retain those shadowed areas. Like, I think she looks so adorable right now, and that her color looks pretty darn good. Yeah, I am super, super happy with her. So those were our pinks, our R's, for her body. So we're all done. I'm just going to make sure I have everything. So we have her ear. We have her body, her hooves. Okay, that's all colored in. So next we're going to work on her mane. So for her mane, I'm going to be using I'm using RB19, RB17, RB13, RB14. I have this one in a chow. So again, just for me, I like to have everything lined up. So I'm kind of just lining them on my markers in the order that I'm going to use them. So I just do this. So I just darkest to lightest as I use them. What I am going to do real quickly is I'm going to take my RB13. So this is our lightest in this color. So this is our tender pink. This tender pink, I'm going to put right into the back of her ear section right in here. And then I'm going to grab that RV10, that pale pink. And I'm just going to go ahead, put it over top, and blend it in. Just so she's got a little bit of color differentiation in her ear, but it still kind of matches up with what we've used, because the RB13 is part of her main color, and then RB10 was part of her body color, and that kind of just blends those two together. All right, so we're going to start off with the RB19 in her mane, and now this is only for shadow spots. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start in her tail. And this color just happens to correspond very, very well with the color I stamped out her outline in. So I don't want to overly go over it, or I will start to lose some of those lines. But I just wanted to find some of those, some of the kind of the peaks and valleys here. And And again, you don't have to worry too much about where your marker placement is. As long as it's in the lines, you're okay. And that's because this will blend out again very, very nicely once you start adding in your other colors. So I don't know about you, but no, I was gonna say I wish I could tell you I had like a favorite My Little Pony, but I don't know if I do. I think it would. Right now, I'm kind of leaning a little bit towards Twilight Sparkle, and I won't lie. So the character Spike. So Spike is a character in the newer My Little Pony, and I just thought he was too cute to leave out. So this is Spike here, and you can see I've already stamped him out in some greens and darker greens because I'm going to be coloring him as well later. But he's just too cute, and I was like, oh, he needs to be in the set. So he's kind of like their semi-adopted brother in a way. So I know my sister had some My Little Ponies when she was a kid. I did not. But now I have these to color, and I'm super excited. Okay, so that was our RB19, our red violet. So next up is our RB17, our deep magenta. So this is our next color here. So I'm kind of going over a little bit more where I hadn't with the other color on those outlines. So I'm not really going over what I already colored. I'm just extending beyond it a little bit. So you can see here, kind of coming in there. You can see here where those lines I didn't have connect right there. So here I'm going to go ahead and connect them. No, it looks a little weird right now. It looks a little wonky. That's okay. I'm pretty sure this is the pinkest image I have ever colored so far in my time with Stamp Anything or ever, because I didn't really color before. So this has been fun, and it was fun to kind of pick out all these new colors and be like, okay, how are we getting a super pink pony? What colors am I going to use? So that was the RB17, that was the deep magenta. Now we're up with our RB14. So this is what I have in the chow, and this one is our begonia pink. So I'm going to start back in that tail. And I'm going to kind of go. So now I am going over both of those colors that I previously applied, the RB19 and the RB17. And I'm kind of following their lines. I'm trying to make sure, again, that I leave still white space because I got one more color to put in there. You don't have to leave a lot of white space, you just need some. Again, we're going to be blending through. here again, like you can already start to see that now that I'm applying this over top of where I put that RB19 and the RB17, that it is already starting to blend and soften those colors. I'm definitely loving the way she's turning out. And as you can see too, she's not taking a ton of time to color. Like, we're still taking our time, especially because I'm kind of chatting and kind of showing you what I'm doing. But we're just at around almost 21 minutes and we're pretty much nearly done. So of course, if you use a few less markers, you can definitely get away with coloring in a less amount of time. And maybe you are just a fast colorist. I don't know. But you can see here again, I'm just kind of following what I did, going over that color, extending it out. And unlike hair that we do in chibis where we do the flicks, which you can do that kind of style of coloring on these ponies as well. And I might actually do that in one of my other coloring videos that I'm going to be doing, just so you can see something a little bit different technique. But for this one, I was just like, I'm following the lines I'm given this time. We're just working with it. So finally, that was the RB14, our begonia pink, and now we're using our RB13. So this is our tender pink. This is just going to fill in all that space now. So I'm going to go over what I colored and extend it. And I'm going to kind of do that thing where I called rocking, so I kind of rock it back and forth. I'm going to go into those little loopy curls a bit. Rock it back and forth, just to get a nice blend. Rocking it back and forth. Same here. Okay, tell me that color isn't looking pretty awesome. And two, I'm kind of coloring them obviously truer to what these My Little Ponies are. Now, something that you can do is you can color them like real horses as well. And you don't need the cutie mark, because when you stamp your image, you could just, before you stamp it, wipe off where that cutie mark is and you wouldn't have it. So you'd still have this style of horse, but it wouldn't necessarily be a My Little Pony. You could make it color in just natural colors. So maybe you have a horse lover in your family. Maybe someone has horseback riding lessons, or maybe they've been on a trip where they were horseback riding somewhere. I myself used to take lessons and compete and do show jumping. So it's weird that, just sort of thinking about it now earlier, this video where it's like, the word hoof is weird. Hoofs, I don't know. Oh my gosh. No. Okay, come on. Tell me she's not the cutest little pony you ever did see. You can't tell me it's not. She's cute. She's so cute. I don't know. Now I feel like she's my favorite. So my colorless blender, because I made a boo-boo. Where did I colored outside the line here. And I hate when I do that. So I'm just going to touch it up now while I remember. Here we go. Oh my gosh, she's so cute. What? Insane. All right, so that was my colorless blender. Just to touch that up. So now we're going to jump in and we're going to do her eyes super quick. There's not a whole lot to color here. So I'm going to do my, what am I going to use? Oh, gosh, sorry. Look at me. I didn't mean to shake the camera like that. Totally just smacked it there. I apologize. Just doing a little color test off screen here, making sure I'm using what I want to use. Okay, I'm going to use my BG15, which is my aqua, and my BG13, which is my mint green. So I'm going to start with the BG15, that aqua, and I'm just going to put it right here on over eye. And I think I forgot to stamp the line in here or color it, but I'm going to just put it touch down into that corner as well. So this, very, very little color that you're applying here. So now my BG13, and that was the BG15. And then I'm just going to bring that up and over. And then on the side, bring it. My gosh, she's just too cute. All right, so her balloons, super easy. So she does have a balloon cutie mark. She's full of fun and joy. So I'm using Y13, that lemon yellow, and all I'm doing, putting it in that first balloon that we can see here. Now, if you are a true fan, you know that there's kind of a mistake, so it's not exact, but she actually has 3 balloons, and 1 is yellow and 2 are blue. But that's if we're being picky. So now I'm going to use that BO2 Robin's Egg Blue. I know it's a tiny spot, and I only used 1 for my yellow, but I'm using BO2 there. And then I'm using BO1, that mint blue, just on the other side here. And, oh my gosh, we have a colored My Little Pony who's absolutely stinking adorable. I just can't get over it. But I'm going to now add some of her eye highlights in. Just making sure my Posca pen is ready and primed to go here. So I'm just going over the little eye highlight she already has in there. It just kind of makes them pop a little bit more. And I have a different size one, so I'm going to make sure I kind of go in with this little one too. And I think I'm going to call it, say she is done. So here is our completed Pinkie Pie. So about 27 minutes of coloring there, but that was including talking and kind of going slow. But I hope you enjoyed this quick little, well, fairly quick Copic tutorial. It has been a pleasure, and I can't wait to make her into a card, and I can't wait to see your projects and hear what you think of this month's release, which is, it's just so cute and adorable, and it was something a little different for us, but I hope you love it. So don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification icon so you can get notifications of when we have new videos come up, and the likes and the shares and the comments all help the algorithm and help us to grow, and that is greatly appreciated. So thank you very much, and remember to stamp it, color it, and love it. Thanks a lot, everybody, and see you next time.